And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Now let's talk about Toronto. So Bob Bradley went to Toronto to reunite with his son. Yep. And I just want to give mad props to Toronto for really treating themselves like a major league, market. Like, some seasons go better than others, but they just do such a great job spending money, investing. And they, I believe it's official, have landed Lorenzo Insigne, the Italian Euro Cup winner who played 6 out of the 7 games for the Euro Cup last summer. He's in his prime. Insigne is, well, let me look up real quick. I think he's in his 20s.
I'm still trying to figure out if you're being serious or not. With
you didn't know? You didn't hear any of this?
No, the big
he's 30.
Big club. No, the Toronto spending their money wisely.
Yeah, they had, like, this past season was not great or whatever, but that's just because their squad has been aged from back when they were MLS Cup contenders and winners. It's the same squad, just a little older, so they're doing a refresh. They're not letting it age like other clubs like Chicago or New England, or dare I say the New York Red Bulls. They're not just like letting it move on and be like, good luck, guys. Yeah. They're putting effort into refreshing. They hired a brand new coach, Bob Bradley, and they're about to spend a record like $13 million a year salary on a 30-year-old Italian star, and I think that's amazing. He is very unlike any other signing we've had, simply because he is still pretty much in his prime. Beckham was a little older and a little out of favor. Insigne is not out of favor. He could have gone to essentially most clubs that asked for him. A key figure at Napoli, a great Italian club, a Napoli man. And it's just such an interesting, I'm excited. I love Giovinco. And if this is Giovinco 2.0, or if this is Giovinco even more, if this is Giovinco on steroids or something, then sign me up. I can't wait to see what he brings to the field.
I guess I'm feeling a little more reserved about this move. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Giovinco had something to prove. He wasn't playing where he was, and so I don't know. It still feels a little MLS 1.5 to me, this move. Like, to spend this much money. Somebody was saying on Twitter how the total amount that New York City FC spent on Tati Castellanos is like 2 months worth of the total amount that the team spent on Tati for the entire 4 years that he's been with the team is going to be 2 months of Insigne's salary. And I just,
that's their prerogative. Maybe there's a huge, I think Toronto has a huge Italian community, and they'd sell jerseys. There's kind of parallels to Pepe to Ausboy, or let's say Christian Pulisic to Chelsea. Transfers aren't directly related to the player's player value. It's usually directly related to the marketing value. So someone like a Tati Castellanos is a well-scouted player. We've had many of those, like a Diego Valeri, or all these great guys like Ignacio Piatti at Montreal. These sort of great scouted South Americans with a lot of potential. For whatever reason, didn't hit Europe, or we offered better contracts or whatever. But those are value players and what they bring on the field. It's not like when Tati Castellanos was signed, a million New Yorkers had to buy his jersey. You know what I mean? Whereas if NYCFC signed Insigne over Toronto, that might have, like, literally jersey sales and stadium sales might have paid back for that. You might have gotten all that money right back in the first season.
That's a lot of jerseys to sell. I don't know.
Not just in New York, maybe in Italy. I don't
know. I just think it's so disproportionate in terms of, like, there was some talk, like, with incentives he could reach 17 million a year, and that's like more than the entire salary budget of most teams in the league. It's just it's just how good can one guy be, even if he's I just think, like, that is so out of whack in terms of the economic models of the league that it's hard to live up to that kind of it's how good does he have to be like, yeah, that's money well spent. I don't know, we'll see.
Also, there's the MLS effect, like a Jermaine Defoe at Toronto, where after 6 months he'll just be like, I need to get out of here. Like, like he wants to go right back to Europe or something, just because there's a lot of stuff they're not used to: turf, flying coach, the travel, the fact that it's, although a popular sport and getting more popular, it's not a mainstream sport. Like in Toronto, it'll probably be a big hit, but they're still talking Maple Leafs, more than Toronto FC in Toronto. And maybe even the Argos, the Argonauts. I don't know, I'm not a Toronto dude. Canadian football
team. Yeah.
Formerly owned by John Candy once upon a time.
Oh, that's right.
He was a minority owner, and from what I understand, it was a big scandal. But I don't want to get into that now. This isn't the Canadian football podcast. This is the German American soccer podcast.
Yeah, I got nothing. As far
So
as
we'll
Canadian
see.
football goes.
I just said what I knew. There's a team called the Argos, the Argonauts,
Right.
and they were a bunch on Candy.
Well, they fuck up the field, right? Periodically.
Oh yeah, in Toronto because they have the same stadium.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. For guys like that, like I remember I read the Beckham Experiment, great book. I haven't read it, and they were like the hotels they were using. Like for me, they're nice hotels. It was like a Hilton Garden Inn or something like that, which is a nice hotel. I like the Hilton Garden Inn. However, for professional $1 million athletes, they're used to the Ritz or whatever. You know what I mean? Like when they go to, I think because of Beckham, after season 2, they started changing the hotels. They flew more private. When they went to New York, they stayed at the Plaza as opposed to where they used to stay, which was like one of the Hilton courtyards out in New Jersey. You know what I mean?
And I think there's just a weird dynamic that this kind of thing creates in a team. It's like it's the same, and NYCFC. You would hear, over the last season of David Villa being here, you would hear these, these rumors of like there's just a separation. He's just not one of the, just not one of the dudes, and I don't know. It seems like the more successful teams in the league don't have those kinds of. I mean, you can see if you look around, like even Chicharito, LA Galaxy, they didn't make the playoffs. Like I don't know, the teams that follow those kinds of squad building, approaches don't seem to do as well. So I don't know. Even Atlanta, I don't know the spending $15 million on somebody like Barco. It's just kind of like. You just have no room for error. Like if you're a European team and your budget is $200 million, you can miss on a couple of miss on a couple of $15 million kids, but in MLS you just can't. And so there's just so much riding. And like I said, for this much money, how good can he possibly be to be worth it? I don't know.
Amazing. He can be amazing. We'll see. Well, I applaud Toronto for making a risk, so we who are not fans can watch and see. It's win-win. Either it's a fun and exciting, or it blows up on itself. Either way, as a distant fan, I can be like, "That's cool. It's cool that we got to see that happen, and it's cool that owners and managements are making risks." I'm not crazy about. I'm not ready to get rid of the 31-year-old Europeans yet. I'm fine with that. So I like the fact that it's still happening, and I like the fact that also I want different clubs to do different things. If one club hires a bunch of young South Americans, more power to them. I don't understand why another club can hire over-the-hill Europeans instead. You know what I mean? Like different clubs should have different philosophies in how they sign players.
No, people should do what they want. I mean, nobody gives a shit what I think, but
I do, Bjorn. I do. No, you're right. You're right. I'm just being devil's advocate here. You're right. It's very 1.0. Like remember Andrea Pirlo at NYCFC? What did he do? What did he do for NYCFC?
Well, I thought he also. Yeah, I think it's the same kind of thing. I thought he was fine. Actually, I didn't have this take of he was terrible. He didn't do anything. I thought he was really pretty good for a year and a half, and then for the last year he was 38 years old, and he no longer.
He was old. He was 36 when he showed up.
Yeah. But I don't think he was. I don't see him as this like horrible disappointment. I thought he was good. He was pretty good for a year and a half, and then he wasn't. And it was clear in the last year. It's clear he shouldn't start anymore. And somebody like Yangel Herrera, Maxi Morales was much better in that spot. He couldn't defend his position, but it was fine. But it doesn't. I just don't. I think it does something to the team when you have these kinds of divisions in salary and social status and world soccer.
Well, in the Beckham days, Beckham made $6.5 million a year with bonuses, and Alan Gordon was on the then MLS developmental salary of $13,900 a year.
Yeah.
That's intern's wages. He had his girlfriend was a teacher, or his wife was a teacher, and he crashed at her house because he had no money. So, like, that's crazy. It's not like that anymore. Like the minimums are enough where you can actually, like, the MLS minimums are enough where you can live off of them for the most part.
But that's also why this is like 13 million or 70, whatever it is for Insigne is a huge number, because even David Villa, Pirlo, Lampard, they were in the like $5, $6, $7 million range.
The next player at Toronto would be the next player would be like, I think Pozuelo and Bradley would be the next player, and they make, I don't know, $3 or $4 million at best a year, something like that. Yeah, but you know, that's their worth, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, it's like I don't have to. It's always, you know, like, it's not worth getting too worked out, because it's like I don't have to pay it. You know. It's like
we just get to watch. That's the other thing. Like you know, you spend season tickets, you buy your T-shirts and boop boop blah blah. It's good to know that a club spends money. You know what I mean? If you're going to spend money as a fan, it's good to know your club spends money as a fan. You know, I don't have my Red Bulls jersey on today, but you know, like the Red Bull season tickets cost the same as anywhere else, probably more. But it's like, who you got? Who's on the team? You know, who are you spending money on? Like, we're giving you money. We're giving you money. Are you spending that money? You know, so if I'm a Toronto fan, I'll be like, heck yeah, I'm gonna buy. You're taking my season ticket money and you're spending it on a quality player.
Right.
That's
what's FC Dallas gonna do with the is that gonna go on the field, or is it gonna go in somebody's pocket?
Maybe they're gonna sign.
I totally no. As I definitely want to go on record as supporting ambition for sure in MLS. Right. There's too many teams who are just content to spend the minimum and be kind of mediocre. And the league definitely needs bigger swings. I just don't think this particular move would be. I would not raise my hand in support if somebody asked. But no one's asking, and we're just going to watch. So.
Well, I got my popcorn out, and I'm ready.
It's the Schnitzel Boys. It's the Schnitzel Boys. It's the Schnitzel Boys.